Could you start by introducing yourself and telling me who you represent, the organization you represent?
Yes, certainly. Good afternoon. I'm Laurent Corbier. I'm the Vice President Sustainable Development of Arriva, a French group. But I'm also the Chair of the Environment and Energy Commission of the ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce, headquartered in Paris.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us here.
It's a pleasure.
Firstly, the technology available and the technology that's being developed and the technology that needs to be developed, where are we at? Do we have what we need, basically?
Well, it is a very good point, because it is true that in terms of technology, a lot of the available technologies can play a great role in combating climate change. So today, I don't think it's a question of waiting for the next and new and breakthrough technologies only. It's also a matter of deploying and enhancing, improving what we have already on hand. And there are a lot of technologies, low carbon technology, that can be deployed in a much better manner, which would contribute a lot to the reduction of the emissions. At the same time, it has also to, this movement of deploying technologies has also to be supplemented by a lot of effort on innovation, research and development, to make sure that we have also a new stream of technologies that can also be put on the market in a couple of decades.
And who is developing the technology? Is it private industry, governments?
Well, private industry is doing a lot through their research and development centers. There's a lot of innovation coming from the private sector. But what is sure is that when it's a really big area, an area that can make a huge difference with complex issues to be tackled, government and countries can play a very significant part in initiating big international programs that can accelerate the movement. And such programs do exist currently on carbon capture and storage, for instance, on nuclear, the next generation. And so those R&D programs can be implemented in a much more convergent manner if they are funded internationally in public-private partnership.
I mean, is the monitoring of what is developed, of which areas are researched, are investigated, who does that globally, just to ensure that the right research, the right development goes into the right areas?
In my view, this is probably the weak point. This is a very good point that you raised, because I think that there's a lot of improvement to be done in that area. For the moment, we see that there's more. It's a more fragmented approach. There's still a lot of pick and choose about technologies, and ideally, technologies compete between themselves on their own merits. That's very important, that they become competitive and then compete with each other on those issues. But it means that also you have to factor into the cost of those technologies the externalities, like the price of carbon, for instance. And that's a difficult issue, but I would agree with you that at the moment there is not a real single body that would oversee this technology approach. So it is still very either domestic or regional or fragmented in some way or the other. And I guess that we in the ICC are very keen to develop dialogues and consultations with a lot of different partners to make sure that there's some convergence in the area of technology as well.
Is that a job that COP16, COP17 could and should be doing?
Definitely, yes. I think that there is a lot of discussion that took place in the year following Copenhagen. One of the dialogue, a very high-level dialogue that was initiated under the auspices of the Mexican government, called the Mexican Dialogues. One of them was about technology, and ICC was part of it, as other organizations such as the WCSD. And I think that it highlighted the need to say something and do something in the climate change negotiation. Cancun is one opportunity to advance this agenda. We would understand that everything will not be completely settled, at the end of Cancun, because there are many, many other topics to advance. But at least that there are clear signs that things are progressing and that there is a sort of a pathway or roadmap between now and the next COP in South Africa. So the short answer is yes, it should progress here as well.
And we've had a lot of people here in the Cancun Messe saying we have the solutions, the technological solutions to many of the climate change problems. Our problem has been trying to convince those 7 kilometers away in the Moon Palace that they should be implemented, imposed, used in a sensible way. That's a challenge, I assume?
Yes, I think the technologies are there. That refers to the first point of our conversation, even though we have to probably put more on the market. Technologies are there, the know-how is there, including for transferring those technologies. I mean, as we speak today in your studio, there are hundreds of deals being done worldwide that involve technology transfer. So it is not as if it was not happening. It is happening, but maybe not at the pace that we would like to see it. So coming to your point, a lot of ingredients are there. What is not there yet is the long-term visibility and stability that is required for investment. We in the business community, we very much believe that it is not 100% certainty that we're asking for. I mean, nobody works on a 100% certainty basis. But at least some predictability and stability over the longer term about the framework conditions that will drive the investment, the financial flows, the returns that business needs to continue to operate. So this is the conditions that is around what already exists today that we need in a crucial manner. And I think that the job of the people who are assembled at the Moon Palace is to create those conditions that we generally call the framework conditions, but the conditions that will appeal to the owners of those technologies to say, yes, well, let's go and do that because we have a road that we understand and that we can go along.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.